popular yoga teacher Rachel Breton. She is very well known because she invented this paddleboard yoga. She also wrote the book which was the bestseller in the New York Times. She was in the 2017 on the Forbes list as the most influential social media influencer, and she has the 2 million followers on Instagram. So based on the chart, I will show you how to study spirituality using Vedic astrology. There are many definitions of spirituality, but here we will go to this famous Sankhya division of Lagna, Moon and the Sun, which is the body, mind and soul. So we have this division that we have this subtle body, which is called the Linga Sharira, and there we have this Ahamkara, Buddhi and Manas, which is the false ego, mind and intelligence. So this is reflected in the Lagna, Sun and the Moon. So also we will use this definition of spirituality based on this Lagna or the Lords. We will use the Ascendant Lord, which is called also Lagnesha. We will use the arudha Lagna, which is showing your manifestation or choices you are doing. We will also investigate the Moon, which is your mind, and also we will see the Yogas formation, which are showing the circumstantial or what are the dynamics of the karma patterns. So this is seen by the yogas in the Vedic astrology. So when it comes to Lagna Lord or the Lord's level, we are investigating if the prana is going in or prana is going out. So spiritual people are giving the prana, and this is shown when the dispositor of Lagna Lord is in Dushtana. So this is the first point. The second point is about the arudha Lagna, and here we have 2 points. If you have Sun related to arudha Lagna, you can work in the spiritual institutions, and if you have Ketu related to arudha Lagna, you are basically working in that things which is called the esoteric sector. So now we have 2 points. The first is the someone who is charity when it comes to the prana. The second is someone who is in the group, in the sector, in the place of the society, which is related to spirituality and esoteric sector. This is the Sun and Ketu. Then when we talk about the Chandra yoga, so all the combinations related to our mind, because the Chandra or the Moon, this is showing our mind. Very famous and very powerful type of yoga is called the karaka yoga. This is when the karaka of the house where the moon is placed is either placed in the ascendant or is having a drishti or aspect on the ascendant. So for example, if moon is in the Dushtana 6, 8 or 12, which the karaka is Saturn, and that will mean that person may see in life a lot of suffering. But when the Saturn is on the Lagna, on the ascendant, or somehow having the aspect on the ascendant, then it means that one is overcoming the pain, going above suffering, or could understood this, unify this, and somehow is going above this. So now we have the Lords, which is showing the prana, right? We are offering the prana as a spiritual people. We are belonging to spiritual groups or societies. By the way, especially the specific group or ashram is the 4th from the arudha Lagna. Then we have this moon, which is showing the mind, right? We also know that we have, for example, Pravraja yogas. When moon is with the Saturn, then we have the Pravraja yoga. If this is in 3rd, 6th or 11, then we have a Kalika yoga, which is showing someone who is writing a lot, right? This is from Jataka Parijata. And then we have the yogas. They are showing either circumstances, but there are some meta yogas, which are like Kalasarpa or Kalamrita yoga, or also Grahamalika yoga. This is not only the circumstances, but this yoga can also sabotage your intelligence, sabotage your whole, also the mind, the brain. And in this context, we will see 2 yogas. One is Tapashvi yoga, so this Ketu, Venus and Saturn. We were analyzing that before, so we can see this video here. And the second, very important, is the Grahamalika yoga. We also analyzed this yoga before. If you want to study this yoga in more details, you can also see this video. But the important part of this lecture is that when Grahamalika is starting from the Dushtana, then we call it the Sadhu Malika. This is someone who is renouncing the world. In fact, it's very good for such people to renounce the world, to live in temples, to leave the place, go to ashram, live in the woods, in the forest, and live in that minimal part of life. So now we have these 4 rules. Let's recap this. First, we have this dispositor of Lagna Lord or Ascendant Lord, and this is showing that we are offering the prana. Secondly, we have seen the Arudha Lagna And we have seen here the context of Ketu and the Sun. This is showing people who are belonging to this either spiritual work or esoteric field for Ketu. And then we have this mind, which also has to be spiritual, right? Or has to unify all these experiences. So for this we need to have this Brahmana yoga or similar yogas. This is when the moon is in Dushtana and Saturn is in Lagna or aspecting Lagna. Like in Sanjay Rat, we see this moon is in 12th, Saturn is in 11th, aspecting the ascendant. So this is Brahmana yoga, showing someone who is very high Brahmana. And the last was the circumstances, right? And this is the yoga. And here we have the Tapashvi and Graha Malika yoga, especially this Graha Malika yoga, which is starting from the Dushtana. This is the Sadhu Malika yoga. So now we will investigate these 4 types of yoga in the chart of this yoga teacher. Okay guys, if you like this video so far, please let me know by clicking the like button. You are helping me with this algorithm to make this video more visible on this platform. Subscribe if you like to get notified about similar videos in the future. We are publishing twice a week about Vedic astrology. And now let's go back to this video. So the first point is, let's see the Lagna Lord, right? The Ascendant Lord. So this is Sagittarius Lagna. Ascendant Lord will be Jupiter. Jupiter is in the 6th, and we know that she was a pioneer. So people with Lagna Lord in the 3rd or 6th, they are very courageous. They like to experiment with the new things. They are very optimistic like Hanuman, and they are always taking a new step. So this innovative spirit is very much there. And we could say also that because 3rd and 6th is like Mars, the karaka is Mars, these people are also like warriors, right? This could be intellectual challenge, or it could be also for sports and things like that. So in this chart, we see that Lagna Lord Jupiter is in the 6th house, and we need to take dispositor. This is Taurus. So Taurus has 2 lords, Venus and Moon. Venus, we take, right, the first default lord is in the 9th, so we don't have Dushtana, but we have the 2nd lord, which is the Moon, and Moon is in the Marana Karakastana in the 8th house. So we have dispositor of the Ascendant Lord in the Dushtana. So this is first spiritual point. Secondly, we were talking about the Arudha Lagna. Lagna Lord is in the 6th, so naturally the Arudha Lagna will fall to the 11th house. 11th house has this Mercury, so someone is a writer, right? But to be spiritual or work in the esoteric field, we need Sun or and Ketu. And we see that she is not a priest, she is not working in any spiritual institution, but the Ketu Venus is aspecting the Arudha Lagna. So Ketu is definitely there. And when Ketu is related to Arudha Lagna, it's showing that the path, the external thing, the category of person, how she will look like, what friends she will have, all the choices she will do. This will be more in the moksha marga. So this is the more spiritual path. Now the third thing is about the moon. And in this case, we have moon in the 8th house. So the karaka of 8th house is Saturn. And we see that Saturn is also in the Lagna, in the ascendant. So we have this karaka yoga. This is called the Brahmana yoga. The highest Brahmanas have moon in Dushtana and Saturn in the ascendant or aspecting ascendant. So that is definitely there. And the last point is about the yoga formation. So we have 2 types of yogas here. One is Tapashvi yoga. We have Venus, Ketu and Saturn. We have Saturn in the Lagna and Venus, Ketu in the 9th house. So perfect Tapashvi yoga. I really recommend you to see the whole video about Tapashvi yoga here. And the second, even most important yoga, because this is in the category of this meta yogas. This is the Graha Malika yoga. This is the garland of planets 1 by 1 in 4 or 5, depending if the node is involved. So we have 4 planets here, starting from the moon in the 8th house. This is the Sadhu yoga, which is showing also someone who is renounced, someone which is spiritual. So yes, this is starting from the moon in the 8th house. So definitely she will feel very fortunate, very happy when she will renounce, when she will go to some mountains, minimalist lifestyle, the yoga lifestyle and so on. This is definitely the lifestyle which is for her very optimal. If you like to have your chart analyzed, the Rashi, Navamsha and Dashamsa, what yogas you have in these charts, and also with the context of health, relationship and career life and finances, also with the remedies to emphasize the best parts of your chart and to block the negatives, and also with the timings, which planet is active in which time, then hit me up in the email below and we can schedule the consultation for you. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it from me. I hope you find this short video about 4 points of spirituality interesting and informative. If you do, please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe for more, and see you in the next one.